Hey guys. Alright, let me get situated. That's good. Cool. Alright, let's see who's on that I can talk to right now. I am super congested. Tag everybody. I know a lot of y'all are working right now, so I'm just gonna tag everybody. And then I'll just get started. And if you're watching the replay, a lot of you guys are probably at work right now. It's like, yeah, 10:45. Okay, so, but I want to talk while the kids are outside playing nicely for a minute. So taxes, I want to talk about this real quick, touch up on it. I am super, super congested. These allergies are like rocking me this month. But taxes, so I just did my taxes last night and I realized I have not talked enough about taxes. I haven't really mentioned to you guys taxes. There is a Scentsy tax page that you can follow. So there is a tax page. So if you have actual like questions, definitely go to that page. It's like made for Scentsy consultants for tax purposes. But I just did my taxes last night, and then I was talking to Erica this morning, and I realized that I haven't talked about taxes. So we're in the tax season now. If you were in last year with Scentsy, you're filing your taxes now as 1099. But if you have not like been with Scentsy long enough to file taxes, but you just started this year, you started in the last like 4 months, whatever the case may be, then I want to give you guys some information on stuff to get you started, because I was up until 2:30 a.m. this morning doing taxes. I don't think my system is horrible, but it definitely needs some work. Not gonna lie, it needs some work. So with taxes, I'm not a CPA. I can't give you for sure advice. So obviously, if you have questions, ask your CPA. Go to the Scentsy tax page. But a lot of you guys may not know the stuff that you can write off with Scentsy. So with Scentsy, if you make, like, your paycheck is $600 or more in a year, you are going to be a 1099, okay? So if you joined in November and your paycheck, or you joined in October, whatever, last year, and your paycheck was more than $600 just in 2 or 3 months, okay, combined, you are going to owe taxes this year, okay? So originally, like my CPA, I'm going to tell you what my CPA told me, okay? So for me in the state of Virginia, for my tax bracket, she wants me putting aside 22% of my income. So if I get a $6,000 paycheck, I need to put 22% of that away, which ends up being close to like $1,500 to $1,600, okay? So even though you're getting that full paycheck is not yours. You have got to take taxes out, okay? Or you're going to have to owe at the end of the year. So go to your bank, create a separate tax account, and make sure every time you get paid, do your percentage, whatever your CPA tells you, and put it aside. My sister runs her own small business for eyelashes and stuff, esthetician, and she puts aside 30% because she's like, I'd rather be on the safe side and have money back in my pocket at the end of the year. So she just told me that, you know, she put $24,000 aside for her small business, and she only owed $9,000. So now she's got, you know, whatever the math is on that, $15,000, something like that, of money that is hers now, okay? So, laws did change on Venmo, so anything that comes through Venmo, PayPal, all that it has to be a tax write-off. However, if you go on that tax page at the top, they have written something along the lines of like, you can write off Venmo as goods and services. So for me, the only app that I use is Venmo for my stuff. So if my customers want me to place a local order for them, they can drive to my house, give me cash, give me a credit card, or they can send it to Venmo. And I just use my Venmo card, and I will type it in my laptop, and that just saves me from having to use my credit card and do transfer fees and all that stuff. So that's a lifesaver. Now, I just tell my customers, I'm like, listen, just make sure you're doing friends and family, and in your status, in your comment, just say, you know, pay back on my order, or payment for my order. That way, at the end of the year, when all the stuff comes together, I can hand it over to my CPA and say, hey, here's $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is for Venmo. Here's $15,000 for my Venmo, but it's all a write-off for goods and services because it was all my customers' payments towards their orders that I was inputting for them locally. So just make sure you keep up with that, like you understand. I don't know all the gist of Venmo, but that tax page has it. But for me, I work from home, so I have a full office behind me. I don't care if you have a closet space, if you work out of, like for me, I worked out of my bedroom for a long time next to my snoring husband. If it's your bedroom, whatever the case may be is your office, you can write off that square footage, okay? I give all the info to my CPA, so I don't know the percentage of it, so I'm just like, hey, my mortgage is $1,800, our square footage of our house is $1,700, my office space is a 15 by 15, whatever that ends up being. I can write off my electric bill because I'm home 24/7. I run all of my warmers on my electric. A percentage of my electric can be written off. I can write off my Netflix because my Netflix I watch every single day when I do my work, or my business days. I'm always watching Netflix, so I can write Netflix off. I can write. I just told Erica on Tuesdays I will go, after I drop the kids off from school, I will go get Chick-fil-A, and I can write my Chick-fil-A meal off because I'm going home, I'm eating Chick-fil-A in my office, and I'm doing a live, or I'm doing something while I'm eating that food. I can write that off. Once a month, me and Ryan go out to eat dinner, and every single time me and Ryan alone, whether at home or at dinner, for instance, every single time we get paid, me and Ryan order sushi to the house, and when we order sushi to the house on payday, we talk about Scentsy, like, oh my God, I can't believe our paycheck was this much. Just one sentence of Scentsy, you can write that entire meal off. It is a business meal, okay? So we write 1 or 2 meals off a month because, I mean, we're always talking about it though. So there's like, we're always talking about what Scentsy has done for us. So that's like a no-brainer. But you can do that. You can write off your internet bill because you're using your phone, your Wi-Fi, you're using your laptop, whatever the case may be. So I need to write that down actually. Hold on. I'm going to show you what I did. So you can write off your internet bill, every single order with Scentsy, okay? So this is what, again, I am not a CPA, so what I tell you is not facts. You need to check with your CPA first, but this is what my CPA told me and what I am doing. Every time that I place an order for customers and I cover even $2 of shipping, or I cover all of shipping, I print out the receipt right away, and I have a folder, and I just stick it in the folder. Okay, so I have this. You can get it free at the post office. You can grab whatever you want. And every time I have something that is from Scentsy, I just print it out and I stick it in here. And I stick it to the back. That way it's kind of like month by month. But my system is not the best. It's got to get better this year. But every time I pay for tax, every club order, as long as you're opening your club on, like if you get your club order in and I open it live on my VIP page, or I open it on my social media, or whatever the case may be, I can write that entire order off because it's showcasing products, okay? This is what my CPA told me, or even a portion of it. Every time I place an order using my half offs and credits, literally 9 times out of 10, I'm using at least 3 or 4 bars for samples. I am showcasing them in my stories, promoting them in my stories on my VIP page, excuse me. So every bar, every product that I buy, I'm showcasing. I'm opening it up live on my VIP page. I'm going to my warmers. I'm putting them in there. I'm recording. It's on my social media, whatever the case may be. It's a write-off. All the scent circles you buy for your customers, it's a write-off. So I print out every single order that I purchased this year. I write off, okay? So I have all of those receipts in there. And then I have my scent of the month is a write-off. Your $10 a month for your website is a write-off. So that's $120 a year. So what I did is I went through here, right down here, and I wrote down, and then I went to my app store and I was like, what apps am I using? I'm using Amy, okay, that is $96 a year. Lightroom, because I edit my photos, is $120 a year. Canva is $156 a year, and Google Drive to store all my photos and all my stuff is $120 a year, okay? Plus my phone bill is completely written off because I use my phone like no other for my business. It is 100% write-off for my business, 100% write-off, okay? So that alone is $72 a month, so that's $870 a year, okay? So, and then Easton School, Easton and Remy. So last year, just Easton went to school from August to December, so I got to write off his registration. I wrote off his tuition, which was $1K between the 4 months last year, because they are in school so I can work. Or regardless, if they are going to school and you are working while they're at school, that is a tax write-off. That is a business purpose, okay? So she already told me that. alone. We did donations last year for a hurricane fund that was $300. That's a write-off. We did donations to the school. That's a write-off. I bought stuff for the teachers for school. That's a write-off. And then my Cricut, my printer, all of that is a write-off because I did Scentsy shirts with them. So if I buy the Cricut and just do one t-shirt, the whole thing is a write-off, period. I also went back. Oh, they're on the trampoline. Okay, cool. What is he doing? Okay, I thought he was her. We have a boat over there, and I was like, I hope they're not in the boat. Excuse me. So I went through all my phone subscriptions. Okay, Netflix, Amy, Lightroom, Canva, Google Drive, your website that you pay for, scent of the month or warmer of the month. Every single month I write that off. That's $42.40 a month for 12 months. I don't always do warmer of the month, but some months I did, and I wrote them off because I'm showcasing them. This is why it's so important to get on social media, because you can literally write off like everything in your business, but you got to show it. You can't just say, oh yeah, well, I'm writing off this order, but you never showed it. You got to show it, okay? What else? Oh, Amazon. So I'm not the best at printing out Amazon supplies. It's usually very like impulsive when I buy. So it was so easy though. It took me 15 minutes last night. I put in the months, of all last year, 2021, and I just started from January and went to December and went through all my order history and wrote them down right here. Okay, so I did January, February, March, and wrote down the dates. This is also for like if I would ever get audited, like I want to see your Amazon stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, this is how I got my numbers. But let me also show you my Amazon account. That will be like so easy to do. So I just write down the dates, how much it is, and I tallied up the totals, and then I added it into my little Amazon spot right here, okay? So I have food, because like I said, every month we write food off. One of our meals, at least $50 in sushi a month, because we always order sushi, and it's always written off, or Mexican. So food, ABC store, when we went to a trip last year with Rachel, Sarah, and Shelby, and that was a Scentsy trip, girls getaway, but we talked about Scentsy, so the whole trip was written off. So I wrote off my entire trip. I wrote off my gas, my liquor for that, my subscriptions, my Amazon, let's see, getaway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. My office in March, I redid my entire office and spent $400 on all of the cabinets and the desks and everything, so there's that. Amazon t-shirts, all my t-shirts that I made or whatever, dollar store trips, Pirate Ship. I went to Pirate Ship and added up all my Pirate Ship stuff, printed those out, my Cricut, my printer, pretty much like, and then every time, my husband last night was like looking, because this first time he's helped me with this, and he was like, you need to stop going to Target. Hold on. Ethan cries. I love him, but like he's mad that Remy just drove the four-wheeler over to him and he cried about it. That is so sweet of her and so rude of him. Anyway, so my husband last night was like, you have a lot of Target receipts. This is ridiculous. Like $100, $200, $100, $200. And I was like, Ryan, that's not all for Scentsy. Like, there's maybe $8 on there for like socks in the dollar section, because I'm always picking up something in the dollar section. Home goods, TJ Maxx. If I go and grab, even if what's the good, okay, like this over here. So like, I mean, this is for right here. I bought this at TJ Maxx. I can write this off, okay? Because my warmer's on it. All my Scentsy stuff is on it. It's in every single video that I do to showcase. That is a write-off, all right? You can also write off, I'm trying to think what else, your electric. So what I did is I have this category that I send over to my CPA of like, she helps me calculate it because I really don't know. So like I said, the electric, I just tell her, hey, it's $180 a month. I have a 15 by 15 room for my entire office. I have 25 warmers. I don't know the percentage. And she'll just be like, hey, I'll probably write off like 1/4 of your, she'll let me know. So your CPA will let you know that. A part of my mortgage will be written off because I have an entire room. Even if you have a closet space, you get to write off. Have you seen the little plant stands at Red Mill for warmers? No, I haven't. But you can do your rent and your mortgage for your entire house, okay? Or not your entire house, sorry. You can do a portion of your mortgage because, especially if you're working from home, which since you pretty much are. And then, like I said, Chick-fil-A once a week I write off. And then I can do my internet and Wi-Fi, which is my Cox bill. I can write off a good portion of that because I need that to run my business at the house. So yeah, Amazon, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. And what I do, like I said, last night I just sat down and I wrote out all of my house bills that I need to write out, your gas mileage, if you're dropping off orders, picking up orders, whatever, you're going to the store, you're going to Target to pick up the socks that you need for Christmas giveaways, whatever the case may be, that is a tax write-off. Your gas is, and I forgot about that. I actually need to write that down too. Because I was like, I don't know how much my gas is. I don't know. I never did mileage. I haven't kept track of it this year, but last year I didn't do it either. And she was like, a rough estimate, you know, do you do 1 or 2 deliveries a month? And I was like, yeah. And I go to Target at least 3 or 4 times a month, and I probably pick up at least one thing from Target, even if it's 1 pair of socks. And she was like, that's it. You go to Target and you pick up 1 pair of socks at the dollar, your whole mileage to Target is written off, okay? So you got to think about all that stuff when you do tax write-offs, and make sure you're putting taxes aside. So what I recommend now, like we went to Raleigh last month, and I made sure I kept every single receipt. I'm going to go back on my Wells Fargo and make sure I have all the numbers are right. But I'm going to get a filing system today. That way, because Ryan was like, this is ridiculous. You need to have like a filing system of all 12 months and stick them in all 12 months. And I'm like, yeah, you're so right. Some people, I think Rachel, Ray has she does hers on her computer where she like types it in at the end of every month. One of her checklists to do, which I need to add to mine, is her taxes. So like she'll go back through the month, write out how much I spent on Amazon, how much was spent on food, how much was spent on getaways, how much was whatever. So, and that way she has one sheet for every single month with all of her stuff on it. That would be the smart thing to do. I am a paper trail person, so I like to print stuff out. I have all my receipts, especially from Target and all that. I have all of my receipts from Scentsy that I printed out. Yeah, so it's not so bad. It's not so bad, but I have a hard time getting started, and I have a hard time getting started because I wasn't organized. So I really encourage you guys, what I'm doing today at least, I'm going to be ordering a 12-month filing system. That way I can because I already have a pile of receipts that I'm stacking up already. And I'm like, Courtney, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, why are we not putting it in folders by months? But it's fine. So it really wasn't that hard. Ryan helped me organize everything in months. And then it was really just me adding it all up. So if you do giveaways, you do have half off items. For me, I sent a few months last year, I sent people like top 3 PRV or top recruiting, like $5 or $10. I did a lot of giveaways last month. I think I had like those 16 parties that I did. I bought someone a half off item. So all of that is a tax write-off. Your Amazon stuff is a tax write-off. Everything is a tax write-off, pretty much, okay? That you use towards your business even for 5 minutes, and the kids are coming and screaming. So I wanted to give you guys that little tidbit, get started on it. It might open your eyes, talk to your CPA more, but I'm going to go because they're crying. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, message me. But you can go to the search bar of this page and type in tax, or the announcement tabs has a list of pages, and that's on there. But I'm going to go.